Hello YouTube, this is Chris again with Baker's Paranormal Services. I know I just posted a video today and I probably look like hell right now. I'm sober on a Sunday, which sucks, but whatever. Sorry about the lighting, and it's hot where I'm at and I'm in my garage, that's why I'm sweating. But I got insomnia real bad. It's hard for me to go to sleep a lot of nights, so I spend a lot of time sitting up on YouTube and different things like that, and I was just watching some Dr. Martin Luther King videos, and uh, something popped in my head, and I've thought about it before. And by the way, Dr. Martin Luther King, brilliant man. Um, and but I was just thinking about something, and I've thought about it before, and I've talked about it with other people, and I decided to put it up on a video. Now, this list is just a small few of well-known people. Some have been in power that were taken out for speaking the truth. One was Martin Luther King. Okay, he spoke up against stuff like the Black Lives Matter and being taken advantage of and used and um, evil and loving your enemies and um, kind of stuff. A lot of the stuff Christ spoke of. And what did they do? They took him out. The government. They took him out because he was going against their agenda. He was going against the negativity. He was going against brother fighting brother, no matter what color they were. They shouldn't be fighting against each other. He was fighting against selfishness and greed and just all kinds of. If you don't know who Martin Luther King is, we've been under a rock. It's not just a day that we get to celebrate and get time off of work or whatever. Go research the man. Now, like I said in my video earlier and a few other videos, we don't always agree on every little thing. Excuse me, somebody says, but he's a wise man, or was a wise man. Go listen to him, especially if you're in the Black Lives Matter movement and you agree with that. Go watch Martin Luther King. He's a wise man. Then you've got Lincoln was another one. Lincoln fought to free the slaves, and he was in power. And once the slaves got freed, he got assassinated. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this, but most people think slavery was based on whites and blacks only. And whites were the slave owners and blacks were the slaves. But you couldn't be further from the truth. See, I didn't know this either. And my black buddy that I keep telling you about, that's like a brother to me, he's the one that told me that there was, with his research, that there was slave owners that were black. They also sold their own color, if you want to call it that, blacks, into slavery for alcohol and tobacco. It wasn't just a white thing. There was slavery in Egypt. There was of blacks, and I believe he said whites, but blacks as well, in Egypt. And just my point is whites, if you want to call us that, keep getting the bad rap of being slave owners. Okay, well, first of all, like I just said, there were slave owners all around, including blacks themselves, that were selling their own kind, their own color. I'm going to try to reword that because I don't want that to be taken wrong, into slavery. Okay? So, second point on that, I wasn't born then. I'm not a slave owner, never have been a slave owner, wouldn't ever be a slave owner. That is just stupidness. But you get my point. Why should I be punished for something my ancestors did? That is ridiculous. But back to my point. Okay, so now we got Martin Luther King, a black man. We got JFK, or not JFK, Lincoln, which was a white man who got assassinated because he was standing up for the truth and he was standing up for the right thing to do. Then you've got JFK, same thing. Him, and actually, most people don't know this, but Martin Luther King and JFK were best friends. And Martin Luther King and JFK would go into white restaurants together. Their families, both Martin Luther King's wife and children and JFK's wife and children, and they would go sit in white restaurants. Well, at that time, that was a big no-no. You didn't do that, especially the President of the United States. You did not associate with black people, and you definitely did not go and sit in a white restaurant and eat together. And they kept warning him over and over and over, you got to quit doing that. You got to quit doing that. You're making the USA look bad. You're making us look bad. You're making us look bad. And he tried speaking the truth on so many different things. And so what they do, the government, again, took him out, wiped him out. Okay? So now we got JFK, or Martin Luther King, JFK, and Lincoln. So there's one black and two whites that has been assassinated for speaking the truth. And then you have Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, same thing. And people don't know, if they do the research, they'd know, but people don't know. A lot of people know that he had attempted assassinations done on him. Okay, like JFK got assassinated, they tried doing it to Reagan as well. Now, excuse me. But Reagan was this is what most people don't know. Reagan was a very fit, mental, physically, emotionally fit man. Okay? Very fit. But what most people don't know is that because he spoke out so much on government conspiracies, government cover-ups, UFOs, aliens, go look up Reagan's UFO speeches or Reagan's alien speeches and go watch it for yourself. Go listen to him for yourself. He was a very, very adamant about UFOs and aliens. And in most of his speeches would get rewritten because a president writes down their speeches. Then they send it to their people to go over their speeches. And then the people that go over their speeches proofread it and then send it back to them. Well, in every single one of Reagan's speeches, he would always have stuff in there about UFOs and aliens. And they would mark it out, put stuff in its place, send it back to Reagan. Reagan would proofread it, again, put the stuff back in it, send it back. Well, they'd eventually get tired of it and leave some of it in. And that's the stuff that made it into the speeches. Okay? But you tell me how a physically fit man, mentally, physically, emotionally, just a fit man, all of a sudden has Alzheimer's? Just out of nowhere, Alzheimer's. Now, anybody that knows how Alzheimer's works, Alzheimer's slowly comes in, okay? Alzheimer's slowly affects the brain, okay? It doesn't just come on and go, oop, you wake up one day and it's like a light switch and you don't remember. That's not how Alzheimer's work, okay? But the government has serums that do that kind of stuff, like truth serums and stuff like that. They also have serums to make you forget. Think of it kind of like the Men in Black, those little pin thingies in the movie Men in Black and all the movies where they would put their little Ray-Bans on and they'd zap you and you'd forget up to a certain point. Something similar to that. It was to wipe your brain clean. Kind of like a hypnosis would do. Okay? So, do your homework, do your research. But so now you got Reagan in there. Okay? And then, okay, like I said, this is not all. This is just some. Then you've got Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Okay? He tried speaking the truth. He tried standing up for love. He was trying to stand up for God. He was trying to stand up against small government. He was trying to do all the things these other men were doing, or did afterwards, rather, I should say. And what happened to him? The government assassinated him. Okay? Now, I'm going to get in the comments, oh, the government didn't assassinate him, blah, 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 blah. That was the Jewish rabbis and blah, 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 blah. No, the government assassinated him. Yes, Pontius Pilate did try to stop it, but it was the rule, vote on it, democratic vote. Who wants to let it go? Who wants to let him go? Who wants to, to crucify him? Blah blah blah. And yes, they did have the choice, and that was left up the uh, to the people. But the Jewish rabbis, was the one that put the burr under his saddle to even arrest him. Yes, now all this stuff had to take place, but keep in mind, though, they really didn't care who Jesus was. They didn't. They didn't even know he existed, and they had no care. But once he started getting a following, his 12 disciples, and more thousands and thousands of people started listening to him, started following what he was saying, and started putting it into practice. That's when the higher powers started stepping into play, which would be the Jewish rabbis. Okay, and then that's when they got the government involved, and then the government did their thing. Okay, now that story is a little different than the other examples that I gave you of men that have been taken out for speaking the truth and trying to stop senseless violence and retarded stuff and standing up for God and standing up for Jesus and doing the right thing. They all get assassinated, and usually 9 times out of 10 the government's involved. I just wanted to put this video out there. I hope it opens your mind. You start kind of thinking about it. But like I said, I couldn't sleep, and I was watching YouTube videos, and I started watching Martin Luther King videos. I like him, I always have. And I started thinking, about all the stuff that I've thought about before, and I've talked about with other people before. I'm like, you know what? I need to get this in a video and get it out, so other people can, roll it around in their brain and open some people's eyes. Because when you start speaking the truth, you put a bullseye on you. And there's been many, 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 many people in history to prove that. I know I've got a bullseye on me. I have for a long time. Even before I started putting this stuff out on video. I've been watched. I've been followed by the men in black. I can't prove that 100%, but it's got all the classic signs: unmarked vehicles, tinted windows, pulling up middle of the night in front of your house, down the street, just all kinds of stuff. I've had weird things happen on my phone. I've had weird things happen to messages that I've received or messages that I've sent. Just all kinds of stuff. Big Brother stuff. New World Order, police state, martial law, all that good stuff. So anyway, I hope this video helps, and it opens some eyes. No matter what color you are, no matter what religion you are. Speaking of religion, when I said earlier I'm not religious, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. I believe in God. I believe in His Son, Jesus Christ. I believe in the Bible. I believe in heaven. I believe in hell. I believe in demons. I believe in angels. I believe in all that. I'm just not religious, because every religious person I've run into is, not every, but a lot of them, they've been wolves in sheep clothing, as Jesus Christ warned us about, God's Son, and also God Himself warned us about in the Old Testament, was wolf in sheep clothing. Be careful, who you listen to, who you watch, who you allow in your home, who you allow in your life, because you can be very easily manipulated. Because remember, if you're a Christian, you have God on your side and His Son Jesus on your side. If you're not a Christian, well, the Bible says you have the devil on your side, and the devil's going to manipulate you in every way, shape, or form that he can. And even if you are a Christian, he's going to try to manipulate you in every way, shape, he can, because, especially the Christians, because then you are trying to make right with God. You are trying to get closer to God. You are trying to get closer to Jesus, His Son. And so that is worth more to try to pull you away than somebody He's already has pulled away. So, like I said, you may not agree. In a lot of my newer videos, I've said you may not agree with anything that I say, or I may not agree with some of the things I say, and that's okay. I don't hate you. I love you, and I pray for you, and I hope for the best. And I do want to give. I'm not very big in shout outs, and the whole reason I'm not big in shout outs is because I got so many subscribers. It would take so long to sit here and shout out every one of my subscribers. That's kind of the reason I made the video right before this one. Was kind of a shout out to you guys, not just a thanks, but a shout out um, to you guys. But um, I want to get I do want to give a few shout outs before I get off this video, and it's not to any YouTube channel whatsoever. No offense to my fans, but my shout outs go to God, the Father, the creator of everything. If it wasn't for him, none of us would be here. Um, and I definitely wouldn't be sitting here making videos right now. To his son, Jesus Christ, from coming down from heaven on direction of his Father and walking on this earth and dying for our sins. And there's Bible verses to back that up, by the way. But anyway, I want to give a shout out to our military, because without them we wouldn't be free. God's put them in a place and give them the strength that they have to go out there on the battlefield every single day, every single night, holidays, weekends, months and months and months of not being at home. I've got friends and family that are in the military, and they go through a lot to keep us and our loved ones and the whole United States of America free and safe. And God's put them in that position and gave them the strength and the courage to be there for us. And then my other shout out is to the police department, military, or not military, but police, EMTs, anybody that's any kind of a service like that, that's there trying to help anybody else, that's there trying to protect human life, to try to save human life. They have my backup, they have my support, they have my love, they have my prayers, because God put it on their hearts to do what they do. And they answered the call. And they stepped up to the plate. And we all have our own gifts and our own abilities that God has given us, and our own strengths that God has given us. And we have to choose whether to listen to Him and obey God and His Son, or we don't. And so, and that doesn't mean, and even in the government, there are good people, and God has put them there for certain reasons. Okay, we get the video that I made the other day. Five stupid labels we put on each other. Go check that video out. But that's something similar to this. Is that we need to stop labeling people. We need to stop labeling things. We need to stop saying everybody that has a badge is a good guy. Everybody that has a badge is a bad guy. Okay, we can't be both. You can't be good and bad because you have a badge. You're going to have some bad, you're going to have some good. There's more good than there is bad. You can't say every military soldier is a good person because they're wearing camouflage. Because I've spoke to plenty military personnel that say, agree with me on this, there are some bad apples even in the military. But a majority of them are good people. And they're there for a reason, and they're there to protect us and to keep us safe. Same thing with pastors and whatever you want to call them, okay? There are some good ones, but there are some bad ones, okay? So go based on the person. Base your thought on that person, your feelings on that person, because of the person. Not because of the color, not because of the size, not because of the clothes they're wearing or the title that they have. Because there's good in everywhere, in everybody, and even the bad people are good somewhere. They've just been manipulated and lied and used and twisted around and just not and made not to be them. And down deep inside, they know majority of the ones that are doing wrong know down deep inside they're doing wrong, and and the majority of them try to correct themselves. Now, no, don't get me wrong. There are some pure evil people out there, pure evilness. Okay, so I hope this helps, and I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. I'm already sitting at over almost 21 minutes. That's not how long I plan on making this video, but you know me, I like to ramble and I get to going. Um, but hopefully I can start making other videos outside of this kind of stuff, fun videos, paranormal videos and stuff. But when something touches my heart and I feel like I need to get it out there, I do. I'm here to help people. I'm here to do what I can um, to be there for people. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment in the comment section below. Feel free to send me a private message if you don't want anybody else to know what you're asking me or a discussion. I've got no problem with that, and it won't be brought up in a video if you say, hey, Chris, please don't talk about this with nobody. Other than God himself and his son, Jesus, it won't be brought up. I don't believe in that. I believe in confidentiality, and so yeah, feel free to ask me any question you want, and I would do my very best to answer you. And if I don't have the answers, I will try to find the answers. All right, YouTube, I will see you on the next video. Rate, comment, subscribe, and you guys have a blessed night. God bless night, or if it's it depends on what side of the world you're on. If it's middle of the noontime or whatever, have a God bless day, and I will see you on the next video.